just take you up on that.
Man.
In 2 years, I was back before them with a petition to open a school. And they said no. And I said, I'll be back. Came back, they said no again. I said, I'll be back. Went to the state. The state said, do it. The school would have been open 10 years, will be open 10 years in October. Right? So my point, though, is your curiosity, being inquisitive, like pushing the envelope, asking questions, not being silent. There's some contraindications.
Yeah.
It's not going to be pleasant. And I just tell everybody, know your support system before you start running up at the mouth.
Right.
And know where your meals and bills being paid or how that's going to happen, because you are going to find yourself on an island. But so somebody needs to stay. So some people need to be quiet and be covert. And then others need to be that. But you have to know your support system. If you're within, you may be the person that keeps everyone else conscious, right? Mm-hmm. And there are some schools and districts and officials that would say, we absolutely love having people on our team and in our building that keeps us accountable.
Right.
That does exist. My experience may not be everybody else's experience. Mm-hmm. That's why all side effects don't happen to everybody.
Exactly. Yeah, some healthy, some not so healthy. Okay, so I just want to pick your brain, because this is discussions that I have a sister who's a teacher. We always say, teacher talk, my goodness. Okay, we have to pause that because we need to live our lives. But this is why the podcast happened, because, everybody can't really take a lot of teacher talk. It's kind of a teacher thing. So if you were to imagine the perfect school, and this is probably pretty, to me that would be deep, because I would be like, oh my gosh. So what would the perfect school be, since you are beyond us in creating schools?
And even after creating what I thought could have been a perfect school, it still could have been so much more. Yeah, so the perfect school, right?
Yeah.
So I've learned a lot in the last 10 years. Mm-hmm. And so I was thinking about making sure there are distinctions between school, education, and learning. And so far too long, we've thought about education and learning only happening in school, right? And we need to start to reimagine and rethink about the purpose of school, the purpose of education, and what it is that we want to accomplish through learning, right? And so if I can imagine the perfect school, if there is such a thing, it's really about making sure that we're meeting the intellectual needs of our students. Mm-hmm. And what does that look like varies, right? So meeting the intellectual needs, also creating a culture that enhances, increases intellectual curiosity. And so I know we use, as educators, we use these like lifelong learners and inquisitive minds. But no, so how do we create a culture where you can engage in like this higher order thinking and critical thinking? And so it bothers me when people want to write, and they ask me all the time, will you have us write a charter application to start a new school? No. Because everybody does not need to do that, right? You need to be able to develop something that is going to be a laboratory of intellectual growth, social growth, develop the character of people, but you have to make sure that you understand the purpose of that place. So is the purpose to develop young minds into thinkers, leaders who can contribute to society and be self-sufficient? Or is the purpose of this school to get people to become more empathetic? So I've thought a lot about starting a new venture around this new school concept, but I also believe that learning and education does not have to happen in a brick and mortar setting. Right.
Unwalled.
Yeah. So learning, and that's kind of how I see EdCollab, because there's so many people who say, well, I want to do what you all are doing, but I'm not an educator. Yeah, you are, because education and learning is about imparting knowledge, right? And so I'm going to send this out, but so there's this paper written by Dr. King when he was a student at Morehouse about the purpose of education. Wow. And so people who feel like they're well educated and they've gone to the best schools, but they think people of color are inferior. How smart can you be? How smart can you be to not understand some just basic, principles around humanity, right? So I do think schools need to have some of that, and making sure that we're developing and improving upon the humanity in people. And I think the last thing I'll say about that, because I'm thinking about it, I'll be thinking about it all night now.
Right.
It really bothers me when we talk about the educated individual. And that's why I say, and I can only say this because I've been out of the classroom. Because for far too long, those of us who are in the classroom, we think about standards and the scope and the sequence and the roadmap and all of those things. But what does it mean to be an educated person, right? I have people in my family who never got past 8th grade, but they were well educated and not formally educated like society says that it should be. So are you a well-educated person if you have a PhD and you don't understand why Colin Kaepernick is on a knee?
Right.
And I've asked this to my grad students, and they're like, well, it's unpatriotic. Do you know, has anyone thought critically for a moment why he did that? So that's where being inquisitive and inquiring comes in. And so, well, it's about, the national, well, he's not standing for the national anthem. Why? And I'm talking to 40-year-olds with, advanced degrees. Why is he not standing? Well, he's not because he doesn't believe in it. No, it's about the third stanza of the national anthem. Yeah. Well, what about the third stanza? Everybody has a device, take it out. Let's read it.
Right.
And the people in that room who did not look like me were like, I never knew. But the people who did look like me, like, trying to tell y'all.
Right.
That's what that's about. How educated are you if you feel like taking down Confederate monuments destroys your heritage?
Which we talked about that in the last.
When the people who are the real biological descendants of these Confederate soldiers are saying that we don't want that because that does not, even though my family member was responsible for those atrocities, we don't want that because we have moved past that. And these statues were erected during the Jim Crow era, not during the Confederacy.
Right.
But you don't want to, how educated are you? Yeah. So don't talk to me about being educated in education. Talk to me about learning, because you don't have to be in a school to learn. Right. So anyway, I'm rethinking some of that and how we use language, because I think language matters.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Because fish are in schools.
Right.
And so just because we put people in schools, are they really learning? So we need to do something about that, making sure that the learning that we require of our students is actually accurate and reflects everyone's history.
I have so many words to say to follow that up, but I know.
Well, we may have to have you back on before you pilot your own show, but I'm still on you about that. So
I'm excited. I've learned a lot. See, it's about learning, because I've learned a lot from you all today. And
it just flows so easily. This was a great teacher talk. I'm excited.
We are so thankful and blessed to have the ultimate teacherpreneur in here with us. We definitely promote teacherpreneurship because we do, as we spoke earlier, off mic, we do definitely have a lot of skills, and we have had a lot of experiences and exposure to a lot of different types of people who that the experiences can definitely put us in different realms. So thank you so much for coming and dropping so much knowledge on us and wisdom
me.
and
we're so excited about EdCollab as well.
And you should be, because you are EdCollab.
Yes.
I was just a little button that buttoned us all up together, and you all are the well, erase that metaphor because I don't know where it's going. I'm the button in the fabric. I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense.
I was following you all the way. I was picking up what you were putting down.
Well, work on that for me and see how we can put that together. But so let me finish it then. So if you think about a garment with several like buttons, so one button may not hold like on this body. Like I need several buttons, right, to hold things together.
Yeah,
so
right.
I think in order to pull us all together to accomplish what we want, we all are part of that piece of fabric. Right.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. I was with it. Yes.
Yeah, and it's so funny how people say like, probably to you and to me, how much we bring people together. And so the fact that you do that is like, yes.
With a purpose, right?
Yeah.
And so
with a purpose.
It's not just happy hour.
Right. It's a real thing, and connecting people really is an art. And I just love the way that you can do that.
Well, the requirement is going to be, though, in order to continue to stay in, you have got to commit to connecting with someone else or bringing, so you asked me, can other people come? Mm-hmm. That is a part of the assignment, to bring someone else who's aligned. Make sure that you are able to help someone else. Mm-hmm. What is your commitment to connect and uplift someone else?
Yeah, it's perfect. So there you have it, Dr. Nina Gilbert of EdCollab Atlanta. And you guys will hear us mention it all the time now since you are introduced to her.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
Yes,
thank you.
A lot.
Bye. Hey guys, thanks for listening to Sweet Tea and Sunshine. If you want to get in touch with us, make sure you follow us on Instagram at Teashines, TeaShines. And if you have questions or comments or want to contribute, you can email us at theteashine@gmail.com. TheTeashine@gmail.com. Thanks so much for joining us. I can't wait till next time. Bye.